Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Thanks for stopping by for another video here at alliseeisW, where the goal of this channel is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. In today's video, we'll be covering the latest updates, technical analysis, predictions of strategy, Riot Platforms, Mara, and CleanSpark, what my price prediction is in the rest of 2025. Now, if you're new to this channel, and you enjoy this content, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. Thanks, guys. Let's begin. Frank posts for the first time since July, a MACD of Bitcoin is close to flipping green, a sign that positive momentum may be returning for Bitcoin. So, what are we seeing? I mean, MACD flipping green. So, it's been quite some time since we've seen MACD flip, but now the fact that we have the MACD momentum indicator flipping, we may very well have a nice breakout to the upside. I mean, we're only like 7% away from all-time high for Bitcoin. That tells you something. But, just with the flip of MACD, we had a duration of 90 days, 50 days, 21 days. That's putting us in a nice position for the rest of Q4 in 2025, where, we've heard from Tom Lee, Bitcoin can get to like 200,000. Ted posts, Bitcoin is approaching a key resistance level. ETF inflows have increased, which shows institutional accumulation. If Bitcoin reclaims 117, 200,000, a new all-time high could happen within a few weeks. So just looking here, I mean, if we can break through that resistance of 17, that barrier line, then we're gonna, have it pop up to new levels. Donald Dean posts about strategy. He has a forecast of 387, 457 for MSTR. He's saying looking ready to launch, and I agree with that. We'll cover more of the analysis of MSTR technicals, but he's saying MSTR is right at the volume shelf and looks to be testing support near 325, potential to launch from this area as price is starting to push above the descending wedge trend line. Next target is 387 at the volume shelf, then 457 to challenge July high. So, we're just seeing this pennant flag drawn out. Yes, we've seen this heavy pullback, but you buy when the stock is consolidating to the downside. Yes, it can continue further, but I think the shelf is built. We have a lot of people just kind of just positioning themselves, and the fact that Bitcoin is just going to be, going up, strategy will be going up as well. And now that last week has cleared out with strategy not getting added to S&P, I think that news goes away. Strategy will build a use case to start ramping up as Bitcoin price starts to surge. DP posts MSTR is grinding for on weeklies. Chances are high in the coming weeks it can rip to $500 to $700 easily. Waiting for a weekly signal. I would sit on it. Patience can pay big checks. So, I definitely agree with this. Time in the market versus time in the market. As you just continue to hodl right now, buy on these low dips. From my perspective, things will become very favorable. Market Maestro posts, of course, everything depends on Riot. Riot broke the diagonal red line resistance coming from 2007. Ryx also triggered the cup and handle. I now expect this journey to continue with accelerating momentum. So we see Ryx on the top. That's a 2x ETF leverage. I mean, we see this cup and handle formation. Obviously, it plays out based on how Riot performs. Cup and handle formation, we may very well see this, break out into like that $30 to $52 range. Just with Riot platforms, breaking out of this long-term resistance line from 2007, and with the, recent 2021 run up top, it just broke out of that resistance line, and we may very well have RSI. We'll go into more details of this Riot just ramping up now. Stock Pattern Pros Tim posts Riot. Now that Bitcoin is breaking out, we can seriously narrow down our breakout timeline here, in my opinion. So he has it drawn out in that Riot may very well get to like 80 plus dollars. That just tells you something. I mean, with that kind of blast off, we'll be going to Valhalla land. Urkel posts about Mar. He says if Mara wants to explode higher, this would be the spot. Hulk Hogan is on standby. I mean, just look at this. I mean, huge consolidation from August all the way through to September, and we had that, major pullback from like 21, now building the case at 16. I think, with what we saw on Friday, we saw like a 5% intraday, even though it didn't, stay that way. This is looking very healthy. Mara, I think the base case is in, and now it's just going to be up from here, is my perspective. Antonio posts about Mara as well, basing nicely here. Breakout watch over $16.60. Once we break through that, I think we're going to easily see Mara get back into the $20 zone. Chilbo Swaggins posts about CleanSpark. CleanSpark is about to make move as well. Be patient, 13.50 soon. Then $24 will likely be tested over the next few weeks. If you're looking at options, be smart and buy 2026. I don't think it takes that long to get up there though. And what he's saying is, we're seeing this, bull flag consolidation. What does this mean? It's only just going to be reversal from here. And I think just with the change in leadership, we have Matthew Schultz being the CEO. This is going to look very solid, as well as, them shifting to AI platform initiative. But when you think about it, they are consistently bringing in, Bitcoins over 700 Bitcoins per month. That's solid. Shifting over to AI, that's going to bring another use case. And I really do believe that we're going to soon enough break through 13, and then we'll be headed back to that $24 range. Jay Casso posts about a 2x long clean spark that's going to be coming out, starting on September 16. It's an ETF 2x long. I think it's going to be called CLSx. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking for that kind of exposure. It's like a 200% daily exposure to CleanSpark. So, it'll be interesting to see how things go. Let's take a look at technical analysis of strategies. So, what are we seeing? Yes, we're seeing, a reduction of whales, buying into strategy right now. However, I think this is definitely the time when you want to be loading up. Yes, it can, we may not even know when, how much lower it can go, but I do think that taking advantage now before we start seeing that run up, I think that's how we make gains. You look at the prior, cool off de-icing is what I call this teal. You see that coupled with the heated up zone, that signals the bullish indicator, and then it'll couple with dark purple color. So I'm anticipating as Bitcoin starts making a run, we're going to see that red color formation, and then we're going to see dark purple, and then this thing's going to start sending it back up above 400 easily. But right now, buy low when there's blood on the streets, there's capitulation. People are very like impatient right now with strategy when other stocks are doing well. Eventually, strategy is going to catch up as well, and I think Q4 is going to be a big year for MicroStrategy. Let's take a look at Riot Platforms. So, we're just looking at it on the monthly candles. So, what are we seeing? I mean, volume has been kicking in to gears. We have more whales buying in, smart money's buying in. I mean, you look back 2021, you see volume kicking in the gears around that time as well. Now is different. We got, more exposure, more people understanding what Riot is doing, and they're positioning the AI. I mean, for every Bitcoin cycle, what do we see? Monthly RSI breaks above 80. So are we getting, in the right direction where monthly RSI is beginning to kick in the gears? I mean, RSI has been like in equilibrium phase for 5 years, but now that it's been pushed down for 5 years, I think RSI is going to ramp up to $80. As we see RSI ramp up to $80, this puppy's going to be sending it upward from my perspective. Let's take a look at Mara technical analysis. So what are we seeing? I have CM Williams VIX. This told us that, we had buy the dip signals at around the range of like $15. Where we currently are, just hovering above $15, $16, that's definitely a steal. We see momentum building up. Couple that with, increase, VFI volume. That gives us the insight that, things are looking, very solid. I think we're going to see a reversal here. We're going to see $20. This is, from my perspective, definitely lower risk investing in Namara at these prices because it's going to start popping up from here on out. Let's take a look at CleanSpark. So CleanSpark on the daily candle, We've seen this big pullback with CleanSpark from $13 all the way to, $9. That's a heavy pullback. I mean, when you scale out even further back in November 2024, $18 stock ran down to $6. I mean, got up to 13, now down to like, you know, $9. Heavy pullback. Yes, it's not performing like what we're seeing with Cypher, with Iron, in May it was like $5 and now it's like $33. They have that AI use case. So with CleanSpark shifting into gears as well, they're lagging behind, but I think that as we're noticing now, relative strength is picking up, right? Things will change, laggers will become the winners, and for these reasons, I think we're going to see $18 coming our way. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video where I did a deep dive analysis. Let me know what your predictions are for MSTR, Riot, Mar, CleanSpark, what you thought of this video, what your predictions are, where you're watching from. Thanks, guys.